Welcome back to High Stakes. Today, we will be discussing the following NCAAF matches that is happening on Saturday, September 9, 2023. We will be providing our team, total and prop picks for the day. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. If you want access to our premium picks, you can check out our Patreon page. You can find the link to our Patreon page in the description and comments section below. Nebraska vs Colorado. Take Nebraska plus 3 points. And here is why. The Nebraska Cornhuskers hope that's not the case, as they get to be the first program to see what kind of show Neon Dean puts up at home. The Cornhuskers have already seen this point spread move drastically against them relative to the look-ahead line available last week, as before Colorado's victory, this game was offered at Nebraska minus 8.5. That was also knowing at the time that Nebraska had started the year 0-1 Sioux, losing 13-10 at Minnesota, covering the plus 7.5 points they were getting, and doing so with just 114 total passing yards. That's how much the perspective of Colorado has flipped in the betting market after seeing one game, and regardless of the specific characters involved in this story, the idea that a team that was going to be catching more than a touchdown at home has flipped to FG home favorite with their opponent having not even played a game to cause any influence is a wild reality to conceptualize. It is hard to imagine Nebraska's offense keeping up with Colorado's here, given what both showed in their first outings, but the fact that Nebraska comes in with a bit of extra rest can't hurt any case being made for backing the Cornhuskers. They've shown nothing on the field to affect this drastic line move, which is also considered a plus in terms of the potential line value you can conceivably get with a 10-point swing in the line. Despite the temptation to ride the wave of Colorado's impressive offensive display, it's crucial to take a step back and consider the broader context. Several warning signs emerge when considering betting on Colorado in this matchup. These include the shift in the point spread, the impending in-state rivalry game, and the already high expectations for their home opener, which have surged even higher following last week's performance. From a long-term perspective, it's not advisable to go against all these factors simultaneously, particularly when a bit of foresight or belief in Coach Prime before last week, which was an uncommon sentiment in the betting market, could have secured a favorable underdog price for the Buffaloes at home. If such belief was scarce to begin with, one outstanding performance against TCU shouldn't drastically alter that perception, as much as the current market seems to suggest. Fundamentally, it's unwise for bettors to consistently back teams that are currently in the spotlight or experiencing a surge in popularity. This is especially true unless other factors, like rest advantages and potential look-ahead situations, align favorably and don't raise too many red flags. In this particular case, there are numerous warning signs surrounding Colorado that lead me to go against them. The hype surrounding Colorado alone would have made me consider Nebraska, even if they were a slight favorite at minus 1.5 or minus 2.5. However, now that I'm getting points with the Huskers, it's a straightforward decision, even if it ends up looking foolish if Colorado's offense continues to excel and they win the game by a significant margin. In such a scenario, it's merely one losing bet, and the focus remains on the bigger picture and long-term strategy. Take the over 59.5 points. Colorado's going to score, no doubt about that, and unless the Buffs' defense all of a sudden flips a switch and drastically reduces those yards allowed per play and yards allowed per rush numbers, I think Nebraska can threaten to score 30-plus points themselves as well. Ball State vs Georgia, take the Bulldogs giving the points. And here is why. This was supposed to be Oklahoma on the Bulldogs' schedule, but at the request of the SEC, they were forced to change things up due to the Sooners' impending inclusion in the conference in 2025. In search of a smooth 20 wins in a row at home, things now become far easier against Ball State. This game should provide first-year starting quarterback Carson Beck with another opportunity to gain confidence under center. The junior looked comfortable in the opener, going 21-31 for 294 yards and a touchdown. Beck benefits from returning tight end Brock Bowers, who has pulled down 20 touchdown passes over his first 2 seasons. In Game 1, the junior led the team with 5 catches and 77 yards. Kendall Milton, 9 carries, 53 yards, and Roderick Robinson, 8 carries, 50 yards, split the bulk of the rushing duties as the team averaged 5.3 yards per carry and punched in 3 touchdowns from the ground. The Cardinals lost by 30 last week against a Kentucky team that doesn't hold a candle to Georgia. The Wildcats ran for 113 yards against Ball State, but on only 20 carries. The Bulldogs' run game will absolutely bowl over the Ball State defensive front, and Beck should have a field day, with lots of room to throw. Ball State lost to Tennessee by 49 points last season, and the Volunteers were not even ranked. The Cardinals, unfortunately, don't have anything on the offensive end that can remotely penetrate this intense Bulldogs defense. It will be tough for Ball State to move forward on offense, and I wouldn't expect that unit on the field much during this game. Take the over as a total pick. And here is why. If Georgia can put up 48 on Utah Martin, they can certainly do the same to Ball State. I fully expect the Georgia run game to be in full effect in this game, and they have a two-headed attack that will trip up the Cardinals' defense. Beck and company will get things rolling early in the air, setting up a run attack that should be able to break for some big runs. So, the big issue here is, can Ball State contribute anything to the cause? They were able to get their passing game going and will need to rely on that if they hope to get on the scoreboard. Last week they used two quarterbacks and could go back to that strategy to keep the Bulldogs guessing a bit. I think that helps us here and allows the Cardinals to get some points, though maybe late in the game. James Madison versus Virginia. Take the James Madison Dukes to win by more than 4 points on the road here. The James Madison Dukes have been a decent offensive team this season and need to get senior wide receiver Reggie Brown more action out wide. He recorded 3 catches for 77 yards, 25.7 yards per reception, and a touchdown grab. His numbers are a little skewed as he did have a 57-yard catch, but if he can be a good target for the offense, it will do wonders for this Duke offense. The defense of the James Madison Dukes did incredibly well to begin the year, as they only gave up 3 points on 208 total yards against 146 passing, 62 rushing. JMU did excellent defending on the money downs, as they held Bucknell to 3 of 15 on third down and did not allow them to convert on their singular fourth down try. A big reason for the success was the ability to win in the trenches, as the opposing running game was held to 1.8 yards per carry as well. Expect these principles to be applied in this game as well for the Dukes to have a strong start to the year defensively. In Week 1, the James Madison Dukes showcased dominance, contrasting starkly with the Virginia Cavaliers' lackluster performance. While the momentum from their previous game can have a tangible impact, facing a formidable opponent like the Tennessee Volunteers in Week 1 should better prepare them for this matchup. Notably, running back Kalen Black is poised to exploit a weaker defensive line, finding opportunities to navigate through open spaces on the field. It's worth noting that Muscat's performance was already less than stellar, and if he is unable to play, freshman Anthony Calandria will be called upon to step in. Although the Cavaliers are coming off a disheartening loss, there is an expectation of improvement in their performance. However, it's unlikely to be sufficient to keep the game closely contested. Go with over 40 points as it seems to be the better option here. This game opened at 44 total points, so dropping 4 total points is massive. While the Virginia defense is not going to be allowing as many points. However, the inability to defend in the trenches is going to be a big cause for concern. This is broken down to 10 points per quarter, and that feels extremely doable here. James Madison should score as they were running for 6.4 yards per carry and should extend drives here. Virginia is going to also score a decent amount of points.